And again, it is just me. Becca should be joining us next week or the following week. I'm not sure. I need to double check with her. But for now, you've got the mighty, glorious midget. I am a midget, so I'm small. I'm a tiny person. But yeah, so it's just me again. I hope that this camera angle is better. I hope that I'm not sitting out of frame. I double checked it, but things can change. I hope the lights are also high enough to where they're not like on my glasses. But yeah, so it's just me today, which is gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun time. It's gonna be glorious and magnificent and woot woot. Yeah, this past week has been a really weird week for me, with dreams, I should say. And also just sleep in general. I haven't been able to sleep in my bed, so I've been sleeping on my floor. I don't know if anyone else ever gets like that, where like just randomly sleeping in their bed, they just can't do it. Like they'll lay in bed for like 2 hours with your eyes shut, and you'll think you're asleep, but then you're fully awake. I don't know, it's weird. And so when that happens to me, I just fucking go to bed on the floor. Just make a bed on the floor and sleep on the floor. And then I pass out in like 5 seconds. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah. But with that, I've had the strangest dreams. Like I had one dream, not last night, but the night before last night, that I was pregnant. Same age as I am now, so 19, and pregnant. And it felt so real that when I woke up, I was like, because in my dream, I went to sleep in my dream, and then I woke up in real life. Like my dream ended with me falling asleep, and I woke up, and me waking up, I thought I was going to be pregnant, and then I looked at my stomach. I'm like, oh wait, I'm not pregnant. I'm in reality. Like it was such a weird dream. Like such a weird dream. And then last night I had a dream that had a boyfriend, which that's hilarious because we all know I don't got a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. Very single. I'm currently not even looking for one. I've decided that looking is stupid and I just want something to happen naturally. So yeah. But it was just, and it also again felt really real. And also, I'm pretty sure that the person I was dating, because in dreams, you can't dream of a person unless you've already seen them. Like, you've already seen them in some way, shape, or form, or your brain makes a person out of people you've seen. And I'm pretty sure the person I dreamed of was a guy Becca was talking to randomly. Like, they were talking for a bit, and I just, it was so weird. I woke up and I was like, why? Why was that my dream? I haven't even told Becca this yet. I need to tell her that. Although, it was really funny because last night, Becca had messaged me. She's like, oh, I have an idea for the podcast. Like, kind of blah, 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 like, really excited. And then, I messaged back probably 20 minutes later or 15, I don't know. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is it? I want to know. And then she just didn't respond. So I was like, all right, Becca's dead. She's not. She's very much alive. She's at work right now. So that joke was a lot funnier in my head. Granted, I have planned it out differently in my head too. So, yeah. If you notice something, we've got our normal chair back. We've got our fluffy table back, but we are still in my kitchen. We are still in my kitchen. It's probably going to be a while till we go into the garage again, just because of how hot it is. We might only be able to film the garage during fall, so fun. But yeah, today I thought we would do a personality test. I actually took a poll on Instagram asking you guys if you'd rather see me talk about my past relationships, love life, or I do a personality test, and it was an even 50-50 last time that I looked. So I guess we'll just have to do both eventually. But today, we are going to do the personality test first because that seemed to have been the one to get the most likes first. Before I went and looked at it again, it wasn't even 50-50. So don't worry, to those of you who want to hear about my past terrible relationships, you will. It's just not going to be in this podcast. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe there's going to be a question in this personality test that asks me, that asks me, Jesus, that asks, where they wonder if I have had bad relationships. Jeez, why are words so hard? But yeah, so the personality test we're going to be taking today is 16 personalities. It's from the website 16personalities.com/free-personality-test. So if you guys want to go take this is the one I'm taking. It takes probably about 12 minutes. It's a free personality test, so hell yeah, that's what I want. It says here it's fast and easy, takes less than 12 minutes. It's telling me to be myself, answer honestly, even if you don't like the answer. Complete it all. Try not to leave any neutral answers. So try to don't lean in the middle, lean more left or lean more right with the question. So let's just get started. And I'm really curious to know how I'm going to do with this because I actually think I took this personality test when I was like 15, sometime in high school, and I got I can't remember exactly what personality I got, but I do know that the personality was you care for others a lot, you put others' needs before you, and I'm not like that anymore. Fuck you. I'm kidding. I'm not incredibly like that. I still want to put others' needs before me, but I'm not going to completely dismiss what I need. I also want to make sure that, even though I'm being filmed, it's going online, that I'm not fake. I'm not, I can come off pretty basic or fake a lot of the times when I film, just because I'm trying really hard to provide for a camera and be entertaining for a listening audience, and sometimes just me who I am, I'm not entertaining. I'm just kind of meh, and so I'm always trying to be all like, oh yeah, pop up, and that's just not me. If I were some deadly sin, I would be sloth. This is a lot of effort for me. But yeah, so let's begin. Okay. You enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. Okay. I do enjoy it, but it's kind of weird. I enjoy it, and I don't know how to describe it. I'm very much an introvert, but I enjoy being around people. I enjoy being a part of something, but I don't like being at an event where nobody's interacting with me. If people aren't going to talk to me or have a conversation with me, we kind of relate. If there's not going to be something like that where if I'm trying to talk to someone and they don't try to talk back to me, that'll be an issue. Or I tend to come off very shy at first. The air conditioning just turned on. I'm very sorry, but I'm very introverted in the matter of trying to be more social, but I'm also very extroverted as soon as I'm used to things. And if I'm at a social event where I know people, I'm having fun. I don't know. I'm gonna choose so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 dots. There's 7 dots total. And the middle one, the fourth one from both sides, that middle one is the tiny gray one. That one's the neutral. I'm going to go with the one directly to the left, which is on the agree side, which is I kind of agree, but not totally. So we're going to move on from that one. So You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas. Yes, I do. I have the most. I'm so imaginative. Jesus, I can't speak today. I'm very imaginative. I love daydreaming. I know that's an issue. I love. It's like my mental break from like real life. Like if I just have time to like just go into my brain and just have my own adventure for a little bit. I love that. I just think it's really relaxing. It's kind of meditative for me. It gives me something to focus on. So I'm gonna say I agree to that to the fullest extent. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. I would say yes, but in the middle. Like I'm not fully disagreeing with the agree, but I'm also not fully agreeing. I'm right in the middle of that agree. Just because I'm very spontaneous. I like to just go on random adventures, and if I go somewhere and there's something that's more interesting to me than what I, maybe have planned, I want to go do that instead. It's nice to have a list just so I can keep like a clear mind of things to do. But I like, if I want to randomly just go off road like one day, I want to do that. I don't want it to be like we have to do this and do this and do this and do this. Like that would really bother me actually. But as long as it's like fun, I'm happy, and like you can do things like that's fun. So I went with like a middle agree on that one. You often think about what you should have said in conversation long after it has taken place. Not really. I mean, I'm sure I've had those moments where I'm like, why did I say that? But it's also at the same time, nobody cares. Like, what I find really detrimental, nobody else cares about. Like, 15-year-old me would have been like, oh yeah, fully agree. But me now, I'd be like, no, because I have grown to know that everything I say, not everyone's nitpicky about. The biggest thing ever I could probably say right now is you are your own worst enemy. Like, you are going to be the biggest bully to yourself than any bully could ever be. And that's just because you know yourself better than anyone else. So you know how to tear yourself down. So if something you think is detrimental to you and detrimental to somebody else, and people are judging you for it, probably isn't that big of a deal to that person. They're probably not even thinking about it. They don't give a damn, So I'm gonna say I disagree. I'm gonna say the very last disagree, like the smallest dot of disagree for that one, just because like I don't fully disagree with it. I just hurt my thumb. I have tendonitis in one of my thumbs, and I sometimes forget about it. Ow. Yeah. I took Advil. Why are you hurting, a-hole? Just because, I have those moments. Like, I have those human moments of regret. But I don't have them as often as I used to, so. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not try to solve their problem. This one's hard because I do want to support them emotionally, but I'm such a let's solve the problem type person. Like, I don't want to just sit and quail? Nope, that's a bird. Is quail a bird? I think quail's a bird. Coral. No, that's coral. Like wrestle, basically. Coral, not like the plant coral, but like like the situation, like butting heads. Like, I don't want you to sit there and just be miserable. I want you to figure it out, because once you figure it out, it becomes easier to deal with. So I'm going to say the very small disagree for this one. People can rarely upset you. I would disagree with that. People upset me very often. I'm a very emotional, very sometimes irrational person. I tend to think a lot with my heart rather than my brain, which you can imagine causes some issues. So people can actually upset me a lot. I try hard not to. I've gotten better at it. It used to be every small thing used to upset me greatly, but now it's just like the things that really matter, which would make sense. But, even sometimes things that don't matter can really upset me. So I'm going to go with the middle, disagree with this one. Okay. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and keep it going. Oh, who is that? Someone's here. Hi! Okay, I'm back. Really sorry about that. My brother came home, and my brother came over and visited, so I went and hung out with him for a little bit. But I'm back. I do not remember what question we were on. Oh, okay. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start the conversation and keep it going. Depends on the situation and what mood I'm in. I would say probably I agree to that, just because I'm not very much of a I'll do this myself type of person. Like, I don't want to start the conversation. I'm a very awkward person, so to do it alone is really weird. Where am I? I just realized I'm blind. 1 second, I need to grab my glasses, which are on the other side of the kitchen. I was like, why is everything fuzzy? Well, you see, Maddi, you can't. All right. Okay, now I can see again. Here we go. Now everything doesn't look fuzzy. But I'm just a really awkward person, and starting the conversation myself can be really hard. I'm gonna say like the smallest dot to agree. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. I'm gonna say the smallest amount of agree to that, because I do like to get my plans done. Like, if I have plans for something and I want to get it done, I'm gonna get it done. But if I have something happen that has to, put things on hold, yeah. But I normally like to get back to things as soon as possible, so I'm gonna say yeah. Like the smallest, yeah. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on someone you met. Nope. Good impressions are very important to me. I always want to leave like a really good impression on someone. Like, first impressions are so important to me. Like, for example, I was talking to this one guy for a little bit, and I think like the second day we hung out, I was hanging out with him, and we were walking around. It was like late winter, early spring. This was very recent. It makes me laugh because it's so funny. The story is really funny, and it just like describes who I am as a person, but also like the situation was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, but it's fine. We're fine. It's fine. We're fine. Things didn't work out with him anyway, so it's fine, but kind of disappointed that things didn't, but it's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. The world's on fire, but it's fine. But we were hanging out together, and we went to this little park area that he knew of, and the little park had like a duck pond area, basically where like water would drain into, and it was frozen for the most part, but I noticed that like there was a stream that had melted part of the water, and so I decided it would be the best idea ever to go ahead and walk across the water, which it was fine. It was literally fine. I was walking across, everything's good. There's nothing to worry about. I'm walking across, I'm just like, la da da da. He's in the background like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I'm like, come on, you'll be fine. Granted, he's like 6'1", 6'4", 6 foot. He was in the 6 foot range. I forgot his height. Oh, bad person. He was 6 foot at least, okay? And so he's like, I can't walk across that. And I'm walking across and I'm like, ooh, look at me, everything's fine. And I go ahead and I walk to where this little stream is, where the break in the ice is across, like, it like separates, and I'm just standing there. There's nothing wrong. But then I noticed that it had frozen over twice, so there was a layer of ice underneath the layer of ice I was on, and I could, stick my hand underneath the water and like touch the layer, that first layer of ice underneath the layer I was on. I could touch it, and so I did, but I didn't do it with my hand like a normal person. I did it with my foot. So I go ahead and I step on that layer, and the layer is much thinner than it appears. And I step on it, and it breaks. And I fall in the water. And it wasn't like a dramatic fall. It's just my entire right leg was up to like my knee, had fallen into water. And the best part is, it smelt terrible. It was so disgusting. Luckily, it wasn't that cold. I'm pretty used to the cold. So like the cold didn't bother me that much. It's just the smell. It smelled like duck poop. And he's in the background laughing like, I fucking told you. Like, and I'm like, and he's just, he's like, who said that would happen? Like, like, meh, meh, meh. And I'm still laying. I had pulled my leg out at that point, and I was like laying on the, hi, Silvers. Baby girl, you need to go lay down, okay? Go lay down. I had pulled my leg out. I was laying on the ice, just like dying, because I fell in a pond. And then as I got up, I fell again. Like, I was trying to like use my body to stand up. Sugar baby, go, bedtime. Bedtime, sorry, or my dog's walking around. Go, bedtime. Go to bed. And while I was trying to push myself up, I think I stepped on a weak spot with my right leg again, and I fell through even deeper that time, and my pants were my pants were dirty and nasty, and I smelled like a duck pond, and apparently we were very close to his grandparents' house. And I just thought he was like we met up at a little dine-in area. I don't know. It was a really good food. I don't know if it's a restaurant or a fast food place. I don't know. But we had met there, and he just drove us around to a park. And then I thought he was just going to bring me to my car so I could go home and, not be gross. And no. He decided, with the kindness of his heart, with just the utmost sincerity of just wanting me to not be wearing gross pants, he was like, my grandparents' house is just right up the road. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we're going. And I was like, no, we're not. I don't want to. And he's like, oh no, we're going. That way you can wash up. And I'm like, oh no. And like, he did it because he knew it would upset me. I'm pretty sure he knew it would upset me. And so basically his grandparents met me with dirty pants. Like, dirty, muddy, smell like shit. And it's so irritating. It's so irritating. I'm just, oh God, I was like, this is a horrible first impression. I will never live this down. I am so upset. I was just so triggered. But it was so annoying. It's so funny now. And it was funny then. But I'm such an awkward person. And since first impressions are so important to me, the fact that I had dirty pond water all up my legs, all up my pants, like I was I was just so sad. I was so sad. I was like, great, your grandparents. And I'm not comfortable around grandparents in general. I didn't grow up with my grandparents around me. My grandparents on both sides of my family have passed. And so like I really want to make sure when it comes to like grandparents that like, I'm a good impression and that, I'm respectable and, falling into a pond before meeting them doesn't really appear as respectable. So luckily his grandparents were like super sweet and they're like, oh yeah, go ahead and wash up, you're good. And I was like, oh my god, you're so sweet. I grew up with grandparents that were kind of mean. So to have nice grandparents is like a nice refresher. So it was the story time with Maddi. I fell in a pond. It was just, I fell in a pond and then met grandparents. Oh my god. I hope that he used to watch this podcast. I'm not sure if he still does. He probably doesn't, but if he does, how dare you? I'm totally kidding. Kind of. It's very funny now, and it was funny then. Just a little sassy right now, because I don't know what this motion is in my hands, and I'm pawing at you apparently. Fucking stupid. Alright, so I would like to strongly disagree with that question. I worry a lot if I made a good impression on someone, just because I feel like first impressions are very important. Even though a first impression doesn't mean anything to who you are later on, I just think it's an important thing to at least try to come off as a respectable person. So, yeah. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend all by yourself without feeling bored. I disagree strongly to that. I am so used to entertaining myself that it's ridiculous. I do enjoy spending time with people, but I know how to keep myself occupied. Like, I am not a person who's like, I need to be around someone all the time. When it comes to me being in a relationship, though, that's a whole different story because, when I'm in a relationship, especially a new one, I just want to get to know you, and I always want to be around you. So that's who I am when it comes to that. But I can live without being around people for a while. I'm all right with that. I don't need that. You're more of a detail-orientated than a big picture person. Yeah, I would say I am. I definitely am more detail-orientated. I want every detail to look nice. I know that some details really don't matter, but I want it to be as important as it can be. I want it to look good. So I don't care about the bigger picture, details matter. So I'm going to say the middle agree and not the strong agree, just because, like, I'm okay if it's not completely detailed. Like, the details matter, but what's the bigger picture, is, like, when it comes to people, like, if there's a bad person, like, there was this girl in high school who I knew, who she did all these really small, nice things, like really tiny things that really didn't mean anything compared to the fact that she was a total horrible person. Like, the bigger picture of her was she was a bad person. And I could not see past all the main issue, which was that she was not a good person during this time that I knew her. I'm sure that she's much better now. Where'd my water go? I had a water on this plate, but now it's over there. Okay. Sorry, got distracted. But when I knew her, she was just overall a bad person. Very self-centered, very selfish, very manipulative. She was not good. I never saw good in her. And she would do all these little things to make it appear that she's a good person. But it did not take away from the fact of what I actually saw, which was who she was in general. So when it comes to something like that, yeah, I'm a more bigger person. Like, I'm not a bigger person, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, like, I'm a big picture person, but the details do matter. So, like, as much as she was a bad person, I'm sure these little things she did still played into a part of who she actually was, just she was too busy, I think, trying to come off as this really strong girl, which came off really mean and manipulative and not good. So I hope that she's changed. I hope that, that's no longer what she does. But yeah. So, but I'm sure those small details are actually a big part of who she is. She was just at that time too focused on being mean. So, but yeah, so when it comes to this question though, in a general sense of just everything, detail matters to me. So yeah. You are very affectionate with people you care about. Yep. 100%. I am very affectionate. I want people I care about to know I care about them. I'll do anything. Oh, you need $1,000. I got 200. Give me a month and you'll have that $1,000 from me. That's just who I am. Oh, you need me to drive you all the way up to the mountains because your grandma is sick? Oh, I got you. Oh, your heart's broken because a boy hurt you? Oh, honey, I'm on my way with some popcorn. Oh, you skinned your knee? I've got some rubbing alcohol. Like, I am very, I love, I want to take care of you. I want you to know I care about you. I want you to know you're safe with me. I've got your back. That's who I am. And then, when I care about someone, I'm very, kind. I'm also an asshole, but it's an asshole in a loving way. Does that make sense? I'm kind of a bitch, but in a kind way. You know how when you fuck around with your friends and you're just kind of being an asshole because that's just what you all do. That's how I am with my friends. But then I love hugs. I'm a very touchy person, so I'll always give people hugs. I'm big old, give me a big old hug. I want a hug. Even if you don't want a hug, I don't care. I'm giving you a hug. And if it's in a romantic sense, I'm give me a hug, give me a kiss, and don't leave my side. I quote that, quote unquote, don't leave my side. Dude, you gotta do. But if I can have your undivided attention for 2 minutes, I'd love that, please. I haven't had a real relationship since junior year of high school. This is a nightmare. But yeah, I'm a very affectionate person, so I strongly agree with that. You have a careful and what the hell is that word? Methodological. I think that's methodological. Let me look this up. Methodological, done according to a systematic or established form of procedure. Methodological. Yeah, it's methodological. Approach to life. No. I would medium disagree with that because I don't think life is a structure. I think life is a blob of things you can do, and one thing you do will change this thing that can happen. So I don't think it's a stacking tier situation. So yeah, no, I tend to be careful. I'm careful about the things I do, but it's not a system, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna just do a medium disagree with that. You are still bothered by the mistakes you made a long time ago. Depends on the mistake. When it comes to friendships and stuff like that, yeah, that bothers me. But probably happened for the best. Even if it was a mistake I made, it probably was a mistake to be made for the best. Somebody is home again. Hi! Okay, I'm back. So sorry about that pause. My parents got home. They just left to go get some dinner. They had to get ready and stuff first, though. I also went outside and played with some dogs. I'm puppy sitting for my brother and sister-in-law. So, yeah, so I went and did that. But let's get back to the quiz. You are still bothered by mistakes you made a long time ago. So as long as I've apologized for the mistake, I'm okay with it. Most of the time, I'm not a person who's dreading my past mistakes. I'm not always thinking about them. I'm not I'm not stressed about it. So I'm gonna say no, I'm not. But if it comes to friendships, that bothers me, even if even though I'm sure the mistake happened for a reason, it's just, I don't really care anymore, I've kind of grown past that point of caring. So, I also have water now. Oh. I have to be careful because I filled up a pool with water for them outside, the dogs, and they tend to slip. They like to run through it and slip, so I have to listen for it to make sure they don't hurt themselves. So that's fun. All right. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found further away from the action. Yeah, I would say so. I would say I'm not in the middle of the dance floor. I think the middle of the dance floor is gross. There's too many people. Why are we all sweating on each other? No. And which is funny because I went to all of my homecomings and proms in high school, and I hated every single one of them. I think the only one I enjoyed was my junior year prom, and that's just because I had a date. And I literally only enjoyed it because I had a date. Even though I didn't like my date, I had a date. I know that sounds so selfish. There's a fly! There's a fly in my house. How did you get in here? I'm upset. But I don't want to be in the middle of the action. I think that's annoying. It's annoying. We all don't need to be in one big group in the middle of the fucking fly. There's a fucking fly. I'm upset. So I'm going to say, yeah, I agree strongly. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. Yes. I know that makes no sense because I'm a very emotional person, but I think I'm a very emotional person, but I remember my logic. And I think a lot of emotional people forget their logic and listen to whatever Karen told them on Facebook. So I do find it very hard to relate to people who are like, but my emotions say this. I really don't care. Logic says this, and you should maybe start using it a little bit. Plus, once you start using logic instead of emotions over everything, you start to, life gets a lot easier. So I'm going to say I find it really difficult to agree or relate to people who, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get why people let their emotions guide them. But I feel like if you don't have a sense of logic, you're going to be beat down a lot. And I'm not saying that's for everyone, but from what I've seen, that's what's happened. So, do I look gross? I probably do. I got attacked by dogs. Attacked, I say very loosely. They were just excited, so they were jumping all over me. When looking for a movie to watch, you can spend ages browsing the catalog. I don't watch movies too often. Normally, I just look until I find something I enjoy. I'm going to say I kind of disagree, kind of like the smallest dot of disagree, just because normally if I'm looking for a movie, I already know what I want to watch. I'm not a person who's just spending forever trying to find a movie to watch because I want to watch a movie. If there's a movie I want to watch, that's what I'm going to watch. I don't just sit down and watch a movie. A movie will pop in my head, I'm like, oh, I should go watch that. For the first time ever, I watched I Am Legend yesterday, which, oh my god, such an emotional movie. I was not ready for that. I also didn't know spoiler alert, I did not know I Am Legend was a zombie virus movie. Which makes sense how the zombie virus came to be. They made a virus that works against people, work for people, which that just sounds like a bad idea in general, considering viruses mutate naturally, and you just kind of sped up the process of the mutation. So yeah, that makes sense to me why that didn't work. That was a big spoiler alert. Sorry for everyone who's watched I Am Legend. Oh, sorry to everyone who hasn't watched I Am Legend. Also, I keep getting, they are running around on the deck. I keep getting bothered by the fact that I have these baby hairs on my face, in front of my face. I have these two little tiny baby hairs they're broken hair from, oh my god, this fly needs to go away. You're ruining my video. which are from when I dyed my front ends purple, when I bleached them. These are now damaged and they're broken hairs, but like they're just in my eyes. Like there's no getting rid of them, so I'm annoyed. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. Now, depends on if I'm in a high level of anxiety, if I'm overwhelmed, like just naturally that day, and if people are on my ass. Like at my job, my manager has a tendency to get on my ass, and that bothers me, and that makes it harder for me to stay calm. If you would just, back off, let me do my job, and let everyone else do their job, I would probably be able to stay calm. As long as literally, this goes for anything in life, if people are not on my butt when the pressure is on, I'm okay. Like, because a lot of times people who are on your butt, your ass, when you're under a lot of pressure, tend to make the situation worse and don't actually help at all. And if nobody's on my ass, if I'm just able to, if there's a lot of pressure on and I'm able to just do whatever I need to do to make it through the pressure, to succeed through the pressure, I'm fine. But if there's somebody stepping in my way being like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because I know what I'm doing, and it'd be great if you would just be quiet and let me do what I have to do. So I guess in a job sense, as long as there's nobody on my butt, then I'm fine. And I get it, it's my manager's job to manage, but there is such thing as over-management, like over being too much of a manager, and that's annoying. And I feel like a lot of people can agree with it. I deal with it. It's just irritating, Like, no hard feelings, I get it, it's their job, it's irritating, that's all. And I hope to God he never watches this. He probably never will. I never mentioned my podcast or anything to him. But it's just, I can stay calm. I can. I'm gonna say I agree, but to the smallest extent, just because I need to learn how to deal with pressure and other people being on my butt while I'm also dealing with the pressure. I've learned how to deal with the pressure, I just have not learned how to deal with the people who are on your butt during the pressure. So I'm going to say I kinda agree, just because I know I have some places to grow on. So, yeah. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. Depends on the social situation. If at work, I'll join into the conversation, because whatever, I work there. I don't care. If someone invites me into it, sure. I don't know. I don't like joining other people's conversations because it absolutely irritates me when someone joins my conversation when I didn't ask them to, which I'm sure is just like the lack of maturity in me. Like, it bothers me. I won't say anything about it. I'll handle it. I'll be like, oh, it's fine. Most of the time they end up adding something to the conversation and making it more interesting. But then there's the people who don't, and they're just there to be there, and that's annoying. And they're just saying crap that has nothing to do with the conversation. You're just like, what planet are you on? Because this is not what we were talking about. But I have no problem with it. I'm kind of awkward about it. So I think I'm gonna do like the kind of disagree. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. Recently, yes, they have been. I was pregnant in one and then dating my best friend's ex in another. Like, why? I don't know. And like the second one, like the one where I'm dating my best friend's ex, Becca's ex, I'm not attracted to any of the men she's dated. So when I woke up from that, I was like, Dream, what the hell, brain? Why? Like, the fuck? Like, it was so weird. It was so, my dreams do tend to be really bizarre and weird. So I'm gonna say like the middle agree. They don't tend to be like super out of there. It tends to be like, kind of normal, but also when you wake up, you're just like, the fuck, Hey guys, okay, I'm really sorry about that. Apparently, my audio decided to shut off on me. Luckily, everything that I've been recording past tense has stayed. I don't know where it cut off at, so we're just going to start over at. I know it was working when I asked in your sleep. Your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. But I'm not sure if it got this one, which was, in your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead in life. My answer to that is no. I don't think being a bitch gets you anywhere in life, and I don't think being a dick gets you anywhere in life, and I don't think being an entitled mofo gets you in life either. I do understand there is sometimes a need for somebody to step on someone, and if that's what they want to do, that's fine. Sorry if you guys can hear the puppies barking outside. They're playing right now, but I can see for how somebody else that might be necessary, but for me, I don't think it's okay. I don't. I can understand maybe having a talk with like somebody in charge about someone who's higher up that's maybe being an a-hole to you, which that can tend to make you look good or look like a pussy. I don't know. But I don't think it's okay, so I did a middle disagree just because I could see why maybe somebody would need to, but other than that, I don't, me personally, no. Water. Okay. This is still going, right? Okay, good. I don't know what happened there, and that's irritating. I had to write down where it cuts off, so that's fun. You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. No. I am a procrastinator. Like, I have my goals, but I know they don't need to be accomplished in 2 hours, I like to take my time on things, but with the fact that I like to take my time on it, I could also have an issue where I, think of something else I could do as well, start doing that, and then completely forget what I was doing beforehand, and now that's an issue. So I'm gonna say a slight disagree, just because I do get distracted very easily and I do tend to procrastinate a lot. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge. No. Nope. If I make a mistake, I am human. I am a human being. I make mistakes. My mistake does not define me. What the hell? What are you guys doing? They just ran into the door. That was weird. Okay. They're fine. They're just staring at the door. I wonder if they didn't realize it was closed. Okay, that was weird. I know that my mistakes do not define me as a person, and I know that I know what I know, and I know what my abilities are, and I know what my knowledge is, and I know that, and my mistake does not destroy does not destroy what I know and what I don't doubt myself. So I'm going to say I strongly disagree with that, because my mistakes do not define me. They do not really matter that much unless it's detrimental to something, but that's rarely the case with me. So, yeah. At a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Yeah, I would say I agree with that. I'm not a big ol' let me introduce myself to everyone, because I don't want everyone to know me. I say as I have my own podcast. I know, contradicting myself. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. I don't agree with that. It depends on what it is, I guess, the subject at hand. If it's something I don't have a lot of knowledge about, I love learning more, but I have a hard time contributing to the discussion, if that makes sense, if I don't know the topic too well. So I think it really just depends on the topic. So I'm going to say I slightly disagree with that, but yeah, so slightly disagree. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. I would say yeah, just because don't like crying in front of other people. I think it's important to show emotion, but when I cry, it tends to be real dramatic. I'm not a person who's just like sobbing. I'm like a crier. Like I cry a lot when I cry. I think that's just because I don't cry as often as I probably should. But I don't. The only people I could probably cry in front of is my best friend Becca, or my family, and that's like the only time I'd be okay with crying in front of someone, or maybe like a significant other if I had one. I'd probably be only okay with crying in front of those people, but then like people at work I don't want to cry in front of. I know they can be judgmental for that. Even if they don't mean to be, it's definitely a thing that can happen. So I am going to say I medium agree with that. You feel more drawn to places with bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones. Now this is really weird because right now I'm for some reason really drawn to Las Vegas. Don't know why. I think it's just, I had this discussion actually with one of my best friends. Her name's Callie. She's super cool. But I had this discussion with her, and I was like, I was talking to her. I was like, I'm really drawn to Las Vegas for some reason, and I'm not a city girl. Like, I love the city. I do like partying. I say that very loosely. I don't party. I like being around people. Like I enjoy going to parties. I don't like doing parties, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. I like the atmosphere of a party, I should say. There we go. I like the atmosphere of parties. Just like the kind of chill, upbeat type of thing. And I was talking to her about it. I was like, I've always wanted to move to North Carolina. Like, that's where I want to move. I want to either move to North Carolina or Oregon, just because Oregon's beautiful. Might be hard for me to live there just because the different opinions and all that, and there's nothing wrong with different opinions. Sometimes I feel like opinions can be a little loud, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's just sometimes when people are loud about their opinions, I get a little irritated, but that's on me, and that's on nobody else. So, I've always wanted to either move to those two states, or for some reason, I want to go to Las Vegas. I don't want to live there forever. Maybe live there for like a year or two. And I think it's mainly because I, for some reason, have always been like, I'm going to fall in love in Las Vegas. What a terrible place to fall in love with someone. But apparently that's my dream is like, let's fall in love with someone in Las Vegas. Yep, Maddi, that doesn't sound like a toxic situation at all, but alright. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. So I think that's probably the only reason why. I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm always looking for love. I'm not looking, but if someone will give me attention and love, I'm like, ooh. I hate that I'm like that. Being a hopeless romantic is a nightmare. But yeah, I don't know. I think I am drawn to them. I think it'd be fun. Quite intimate ones are also fun. I think that's more a relaxing thing. But I'm kind of like a go, 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 go kind of girl. So I'm going to say I slightly agree to that one. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. No, not at all. I don't care what the future looks like. I really don't. It's out of our hands. It's not even determined yet. I don't think we should talk about the past, and I don't think we should talk about the future, because both of those are out of our hands. So I think we should focus on the present, enjoy our present, and stop worrying about our past and our future. It just, it irritates me so much. Okay. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. I don't know. I genuinely don't know about that one. I'm going to say I slightly agree, just because if I'm not in love with the situation, I do tend to listen to my heart a lot more than my head. which I know makes me a more emotional person, but I do still listen to the logic, you know? I will listen to my heart, but I'll hear the logic and I'll apply it to how I feel, if that makes sense. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something you cannot see, touch, or experience. Your life to the study of something you cannot see, touch, or experience. Yeah, I slightly agree with that. Yeah, actually, yeah, I can agree with that. Just because, like, if I have to see it to believe it, and I like to experience it. I'm a very touchy person, so if I can't do any of those things, why would I spend my life doing that? So, I'm gonna say a medium agree to that. You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive. Yeah, I'm revengeful. I'm gonna say I mainly agree with that, like a medium agree. I would like to forgive, but revenge is fun. So, yeah. And I will get it in one way, shape, or form. Not in a way that could hurt a person, but maybe mainly I just want to get my revenge by showing people I'm doing good. Which I don't think that's a bad thing. As long as I'm not being a dick about it. You know, being like, oh, look at me, I'm doing so good in life, blah, 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 blah. Like, that I wouldn't be okay with. But I think just being, like, enjoying my life is a good source of revenge. If I, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and, like, trip somebody as revenge. I'm going to sit here and get successful. So that's my type of revenge. So I think it really depends on what your type of revenge is. My revenge is be successful. So I do forgive. Takes me forever to forgive, but I do. I'm more revengeful. You often make decisions on a whim. Yeah. Yeah. This podcast was on a whim. Truly, it was not really planned out. I had been wanting to do it for a while, but then one day I was just like, I just need to do it. And so I did it, and it was just like on the whim. I bought everything I needed, and suddenly I was doing it. So, yeah. I also like to do, I'm tired. I'm really sorry. Being outside wore me out. It's hot. But, like, I really like just randomly being like, oh my god, we're going to the mall or something like that. Or let's go on an adventure. Let's go find a waterfall. Just, like, randomly. Me and Becca will go on drives sometimes. And we'll just be driving, and then randomly we'll be like, you want to go downtown? We're like, sure. And we'll just go. So we definitely me and her both definitely make decisions on a whim when we're together. I definitely think she likes to plan things out more than I do. So, nothing wrong with that. Helps balance me when I'm just constantly doing something on a whim. She'll be like, Maddie, you good? And I'll be like, no. She'll be like, okay, slow down. I'll be like, all right, I got you. Thank you. But yeah, this is why she's my best friend. Even though we're literally the exact opposite of each other, which helps us balance each other, which is weird. It's really weird. Thank you, Becca, for being my best friend. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. I would like to slightly agree with that, just because I'm very entertaining. I love it. I know how to entertain myself better than anyone else, just like how anyone else knows how to entertain themselves better than anyone else knows how to entertain them. So I just end up having more fun by myself. I enjoy spending time with others, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy my alone time a lot, and it's always tends to be fun. So you often put special effort into You often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or the message of a song or mooning. In a song or mooning, please don't moon me. I don't want that situation. That just wouldn't be fun. Movie is what the actual word was. I don't put special effort into it. I do love finding out the meaning of stuff. I think it's really fun. I don't tend to do it with movies just because it's a movie. But into songs, I definitely like interpreting it. It's really fun. So I'd say like a slight agree. It's not something I do often, but I do it. You always know exactly what you want. Well, nope, slightly agree, because when it comes, like, if somebody asks me what you want to eat, like, I know it, but since I don't know what you want, I'm not gonna say it. Does that make sense? Like, I know what I want, but, like, if we're deciding where to eat, like, I know where I want to eat already. Do you know where you want to eat? Like, because then we can discuss which one we want to go to, and if that person doesn't know it, then I'm not gonna talk about it. Fly. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. Yeah, I'd say a moderate agree, just because, like, again, the past is out of my hands. It's fun to think, like, oh, I could have done this, but also be like, but I didn't, and that's okay, you know? So I'm gonna, yeah. When in a public place, you usually stick to quieter and less crowded areas. Nope. No, not really. Just because I'm a very small person. And I've been raised to know I'm a small person and I'm a female. And, like, that makes it sound like I am super short. I'm 4'9". I'm a female. And, you know, there are bad people out there. And I don't want to be in a quieter area just because I am small and a female. And I'm not saying a male couldn't be targeted, but, like, I don't know, like, it's been ingrained in my head that since I'm small and a female, I should, you know, not be alone out in public all the time. Like, try and be in a big crowd. Like, that's what they always taught you. Go in groups of 2, go in groups of 4. So I'm gonna say I disagree. I don't want to be in a quieter area. Put me in the crowded area. I feel safer there. You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities. Present. I just said preset and then. Present, not present. That was wrong. Present realities rather than future possibilities. Yeah, I do. Like, I like to daydream about the future, but I know that, actually, like, I'm not worried about the future, but, like, I like to dream about the future. Like, the possibilities of the future are so cool to think about. Like, I'm not over here being like, oh, the future needs to be exactly like this. I'm like, the future could be like this, or it could be like this, and that's really cool. Like, and I think that's different than focusing on stuff. I don't focus on it. I just think I just daydream a lot. I'm gonna say slightly disagree, just because I do daydream a lot about the future and what it holds and, like, how cool it is. Like, it's so cool that we have not experienced the future. Like, we just experienced the future right then. Now it's the present. And again, the future is here and now it's the present. Like, I think it's really cool how the future works. And so, yeah, so I'm going to just do a slight disagree just because I dream a lot about the future. I don't focus on the future, I just dream a lot about it. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. I would disagree with that. I can totally understand people's feelings and why they feel the way they feel. Like, I get it. So I'm going to say no, I fully disagree with that. I totally understand how people, like, why people have their feelings, what the situation is for their feelings. So, yeah. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. No, I disagree with that. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. I would say I used to be like that. Like, I do care a lot about the impression I've made on people, and I always want to keep a good impression on people. It's okay if someone gets disappointed in me. They'll get over it, and I'll get over it as well. So I'm not worried about that. So I'm gonna say I slightly disagree. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. No, I am not a conversation starter. Like, I'll say hello first, but if you don't say hello and something back, I might be a little awkward. Like, and also depends on the person. True. Like, it really depends on the person. So I'm gonna say slightly disagree to that. That just for some reason made me think of the artist role model, and I don't know why. If you guys are curious what type of person I'm into, like literally energy and like style and look, look up the artist role model because he is a gem. He is great. When I went to go talk to my family real fast when they got back in, I was blessed. That sounds creepy as hell. I was grateful to see that he had posted something on Instagram and see that it was just his face and then Chipotle. Chipotle. It was his face and then Chipotle. So whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just such like a casual thing to post. Also like a weird thing to post. Like just your face and then the next picture is your Chipotle. Alright. Cool. And it wasn't like the open Chipotle thing. Like it was his Chipotle like box that said role model and what he ordered. I don't know what he ordered. I didn't read that. That's weird. If you read that and you know it now, that's creepy. That's weird. Don't do that. That's really weird. I was just like, oh my god, he posted something. Oh, it's his face. Yay! He has a very attractive face. If you guys are curious what my type is, literally look up role model and you'll know what my type is. Also, his music is great and y'all should listen to it, stream it, do it. He's great. Okay, moving on before he thinks I'm a damn weirdo. Please don't send this to him. Please don't. He doesn't need to know I exist. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. I fully agree to that. What just happened? Okay, something happened there. I fully agree to that. I love daydreaming. It's such a nice escape from reality just because I feel like sometimes reality can be really draining for me. And it's just, I keep touching my face. I'm sorry. This baby hair is bothering me. How do like fuckboys do it? How do they have the middle part and then just hair? Do I look good? Do I look like I'll fuck your day up? Do I look like I'm about to break your heart? No, I look like I can't handle stuff in my face. Maybe I should just do this. Okay. I do just daydream a lot. It's just relaxing. It's meditative for me. So yeah, I do drift away into daydreaming. It's probably not a good thing, but I do it anyways. You look after yourself first and others come second. Strongly disagree. Nope. A lot of people come first before me. Normally like, you know, everyone's first. I do still care about my things. If I need something to do in the middle of it, I will do it. Like if I need a glass of water, I'll go get a glass of water and I'll be right back. But I want to make sure other people are okay before I am, you know? So even when you have planned a particularly daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment. I'd slightly agree to that, yeah. I try to stay on a routine just because if I don't, I won't get anything done. So I do just want to, you know, stay on track most of the time. But, you know, if I want to go do something else, I'll squeeze it in there. Your mood can change very quickly. Depends. If you've made me angry, yes. If I'm angry about something, I tend to go angry, happy, really easily. Just because that's who I am. But not really. It takes a lot to get my mood to change. So I'm going to say I medium disagree. Moderate disagree. I keep saying medium. That's like incorrect. We're also 77% of the way done. This is much longer than 12 minutes, and I think that's just because I keep running my mouth. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. No. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions. Probably, yeah. If the situation calls for it, yeah. If the situation doesn't call for it, no. So I'm gonna say I moderately agree. You got a detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. You have got a detailed education. That hurts my brain. That sentence doesn't make sense to me. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. I would say yeah, just because I want to be successful. I want to be successful in life, so it's not detailed. I'd say I slightly agree. It's not incredibly detailed. I know what I want to do. I don't know where I'm going to do it or how I'm going to do it. So you really dwell on your regrets. Yeah. I would say I moderately agree with that. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway. Kind of. I'd say slightly agree just because I am an introvert, but I'm an introvert extrovert. Like, I'm introverted, but I'm also extroverted. I really like being out there, but if I overdo it, then I get really tired really quickly. So I'm going to say I slightly agree with that. You see yourself more of a realist than a visionary. Yeah, I would say I moderately agree to that. You find it easy to empathize with a person who has gone through something you never have. Yeah. Because how can everything people have gone through have made them who they are, and it's easy to see why they have become who they are after you hear where they've come from, even though you've never gone through it. So I empathize a lot. I'm a very empathetic person. Like, truly I am. Like, I don't ever want someone to feel like they're alone. So, yeah. Your personal work style is closer to months. Words are really hard. Your Mickey Mouse? Jesus. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. With my current job, yeah, it's just a random burst of energy because nothing is consistent in my job right now. And I blame that and I don't blame it, I just say the reasoning is probably because this pandemic that's going on. Pandemic? It's a pandemic. The pandemic that's going on, it used to be, actually no, I don't think my job's ever been really structural. So I'm going to say yeah. Your emotions control you more than you control them. No. Unless I'm on my period, then yes, but most of the time, no. I moderately disagree with that. After a long and exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. Hell no! I want to go lay down. I do not want a party. That sounds so damn awful. Like, I want to relax. After a really busy week, all I want to do is relax. So, fuck no. Strongly disagree. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancements could change every day. No, I don't care. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. Most of the time, yes, I would say moderately agree. Sometimes I just kind of go, wow, and then uh-oh, you're not doing good, whoopsie, shit, sorry, You still honor the commitments you have made, even if you have, You still honor the commitments you have made, even if you have a change of heart. No. A change of heart. I don't want to waste my time. So I would moderately disagree with that. You rarely feel insecure. I moderately disagree with that too. I feel insecure a lot of the time. I will still make myself look nice. But there are some days where I just want to wear leggings and a hoodie. And that's just because I'm having one of those days. But, no, I feel like it's hard nowadays to not feel insecure. I feel like you really have to be a cocky, confident person and able to not feel insecure. I feel like it's really rare for someone to not feel insecure. So, but for me personally, it's hard. Okay, so I just got my personality type. Woo! Here we go. Let's figure it out. My personality type is adventurer, ISFP-A. Oh my god, the person has a, like, the little person that popped up has a little, like, it's a artist basically. They've got a paintbrush and stuff. So my mind, this trait determines how we, so basically it's telling me all my percentages of everything. So right now it's, the first one is mind. This trait determines how we interact with our environment. I am 67% introverted and 33% extroverted, which I can totally see how that makes sense. My energy, this trait shows where we direct our mental energy. I'm 61% observant and then 39% intuitive. Nature, this trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. I am 65% feeling and 35% thinking. Wow, okay. I mean, I guess I can see how that makes sense. Yeah. I do try and think a lot, but I have my feelings a lot, but I try and apply, like, logic to it. And sometimes it doesn't work. Most of the times it doesn't work. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. Prospecting, 67%, and judging, 33%. I would hope I'm not judgmental. I don't think that's what that means. I hope I'm not prospecting. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know. Identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. I am 64% assertive and 36% turbulent. What does that mean? Okay. Now it's telling me, so adventurer personality, ISPF-A/ISFPT. I'm confused. There's apparently a difference. What's the difference? What's the difference between the two? Oh, it's just a different, like, I'm assertive or I'm a turbulent. Okay, anyways, back to the introduction. Okay. I changed during the course of, okay, so there's a quote here from Bob Dylan. I change during the course of a day. I wake and I am one person, and then I go to sleep. I know for certain that I am somebody else. And when I go to sleep, I know for certain I am somebody else. That's true. I think we develop differently every day. We are not the same person as we are yesterday. So, adventurer personalities are true artists, but not necessarily in the typical sense where they're out painting happy little trees. Often enough, though, they are perfectly capable of this. Rather, it's that they use aesthetics, design, and even their choices and actions to push the limits of social convention. Social convention. Adventurers enjoy upsetting traditional expectations with experiments in beauty and behavior. Chances are they've expressed more than once the phrase, "Don't box me in." Don't box me in! Oh my god, that's so true. Do not cage me. I am off a leash. What do you think you're doing? If you want me to sit still, look pretty, I'ma slap you silly. So, just saying. So that makes sense. Happy to be who they are. Adventurers live in a colorful, sensual, inspired by connections with people and ideas. Sensual world, inspired by connections with people and ideas. These personalities take joy in reinterpreting these connections, reinventing and experimenting with both themselves and new perspectives. No other type explores and experiments in this way more. This creates a sense of spontaneity. Spontaneity. One of those words is correct. Making adventurers seem unpredictable, even to their close friends and loved ones. Sorry, guys. It's probably really true. Despite all this, adventurers are definitely introverts. Surprising their friends further when they step out of the spotlights to be by themselves to recharge. Just because they are alone, though, doesn't mean people with the adventure personality type sit idle. They take this time for introspection, asserting their principles. Rather than dwelling on the past or the future, adventurers think about who they are. They return from their closeteer transformed. So it's saying I basically take my time to myself, think about things, and then come back a new person, which that totally makes sense. I do that so often. Adventurers live to find ways to push their passions. Riskier behaviors like gambling and extreme sports are more common with this personality type than with others. Oh no, that's not good. I don't want to do any of those things. I think off-roading and stuff like that, that's fun. I love rock climbing, that's oh my god, hiking, that's fun. Gambling sounds so bad. I don't want to gamble. No gambling for me. No gambling for me, please. I don't think that'd go very good. I think I'd end up in debt so quick. I'm not very good at that. No. Fortunately, their attunement to the moment and their environment allows them to do better than most. Adventurers also enjoy connecting with others and have a certain irresistible charm. Somebody's calling me. Sorry guys, it's just one of those recording days that I have plans and stuff and family's home. So yeah, it's okay. However, if a criticism does get through, it can end poorly. Some adventurers can handle kindly phrased commentary, valuing it as another perspective to help push their passions in new directions. But if the comments are more biting and less mature, adventurer personalities can lose their tempers in a spectacular fashion. That is really true. I feel recently there's this one girl at work who I'll, kindly express my opinion that is opposite of hers. So, and nothing wrong with us having different opinions. I think that's healthy and I think that's normal. But she has a tendency to be rude and has a tendency to be well, actually, and that there's a difference between having your own opinion and then saying somebody else and discussing the different opinions and just straight up dismissing somebody else's opinion and being rude about it. And she definitely does that a lot. And I don't think she means to, so I normally just let it slide. But there have been multiple times where I will get mad at her. But that makes sense for me. Adventurers are sensitive to others' feelings and value harmony. Yes. When faced with criticism, it can be a challenge for people with this type to step away from the moment long enough to not get caught up in the heat of the moment. Yes. But living in the moment goes both ways, and once the heightened emotions of an argument cool, adventurers can usually call the past and move on as though it never occurred. That's not a good thing, but it is a thing that I do. Meaning is in every expression of life. The biggest challenge facing adventurers is planning for the future, finding constructive ideals to base their goals on and working out... What? Wait. Try that again? The biggest challenge facing adventurers is planning for the future, finding constructive ideals to base their goals on and working out goals that create positive principles is no small task. Adventurers don't plan their futures in terms of assets and retirement. Rather, they plan actions and behaviors as contributions to a sense of identity, building a portfolio of experiences, not stocks. Yeah. I think my phone's ringing again. 1 second. That's confusing. Is my phone ringing again? Oh god, my pants keep getting caught on this. No, it's not. I'm having flashbacks. Got it. I lied to you. My phone did not start ringing again. I'm just having a mental breakdown. Which, okay, so yeah, I guess I am really, I never thought of it that way, but it's really true. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's cool, like, that's true, that's weird, okay. If these goals and principles are noble, adventurers can act with amazing charity and selflessness. But it can also happen that people with the adventurer personality type establish a more self-centered identity, acting with selfishness, manipulation, and egoism. I really hope I'm not like that. That would suck ass, because that's exactly the person who I hated in high school. That's exactly who she was, and it pissed me off all the time. So, I really hope that's not true. It's important for adventurers to remember to actively become the person they want to be. Developing and maintaining a new habit may not come naturally, but taking the time each day to understand their motivations allows adventurers to use their strengths to pursue whatever they've come to love. That's cool. That's pretty cool. There's apparently strengths and weaknesses. We can check that out. That'd be interesting to see. Strengths and weaknesses. Adventurer strengths. I am charming, sensitive to others, and imaginative, passionate, curious, artistic. So, it seems very creative and emotional, basically. It's got kind of a childlike atmosphere to my strengths. To my weaknesses, there we go, say the word properly. Fiercely independent, unpredictable, easily stressed, over-competitive, fluctuating self-esteem. Yay! I just got beat the fuck down. Ooh, it's got romantic relationships. I think we should save that one for a future podcast. And with that being said, Gupples, I would like to say this is the end of this episode. That was really fun getting to know all this. I think it'd be fun to learn the romantic stuff. Let me just see if there's anything after romantic relationships. There's romance, there's friendships. Yeah, we'll handle the rest of this in the next episode. But yeah, I'm going to pin this so I don't lose it. But yeah, I thought that was really fun. I really enjoy learning more about myself, because sometimes, you know yourself, but there are parts of you are like, I know this, but how do I describe it, And it's interesting to see how somebody else would describe it, how somebody else has worded this is really cool. If you guys want to give this test a chance, give this test a shot. If you want to try out this test for yourself, it's called 16personalities.com. It's a free test, and it's really detailed, and it's really fun, and I think you guys should definitely get in there. And on our most recent post about this podcast, tell us what your personality type is. I think it's really cool. I think it'd be cool later in the future to also come back and retake this test and figure out how much we've changed, because I am a person who I believe we change every day. And with that being said, imagine how much you change in a year if that's how I think. That's a lot of change. You are not the person you were last year. You're not the person you were last month. And I think that's really cool, That is if you have that type of growing personality. Sometimes people can stay the same for years on end, but that does not mean they're a bad person or anything like that before anyone maybe takes it the wrong way. That's just who they are as a person, and that's totally okay. I just am a person who I want to constantly grow. I am a butterfly and I'm a fly. I'm a motherfucking fly. Alright? I'm a fly so high in the sky that you all gonna want to die. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's not what butterflies do. Butterflies are graceful and beautiful, and they're just in the sky, minding their own business. They're not. I was just trying to find a way to make that rhyme. Alright. But, couples, that is it for this podcast. I will see you all next week. And I'm hoping Becca will be back for that. Maybe she will do her own personality test next podcast. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Bye, couples! Bye, 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 bye.